the chances of a Gaza ceasefire? None. No possibility.
From this to this.
I'd like to see the pause go on as long as prisoners kept coming out.
There has been slight change in the tone of U.S. President Joe Biden in terms of the Israel-Hamas war, which has ravaged much of the small land strip of Gaza. From not even entertaining the idea of a pause to the war, to seeking and even mediating an extension of the 4-day Israel-Hamas truce deal, which has seen the exchange of Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails for Israeli and other hostages taken by Hamas during the October 7 attack and the entry of aid in nearly destructed Gaza. In recent days, the Biden administration has taken a different tack, so far as the war is concerned. This comes after a movement for Palestine erupted across the U.S. condemning Biden's staunch support to Israel's land, sea, and air attack campaign on Gaza. Protests have broken out in college campuses and streets. This movement has named Biden Genocide Joe for what it calls his complicity in the crimes of Israel.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Genocide Joe has got to go! Hey, hey!
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
Ho, ho!
Genocide Joe has got to go! Hey, hey!
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
Ho, ho!
Genocide Joe has got to go!
Protesters and activists even wrote the nickname they'd given to Biden on the masonry of the White House's northern gate during a rally on November 4 while demanding a ceasefire. The nickname truly reached the White House when spokesperson John Kirby was asked during a presser about their response to the issue.
We're not worried about nicknames and bumper stickers. I mean, it's First Amendment free speech. This word genocide's getting thrown around in a pretty inappropriate way by lots of different folks.
The movement for Palestine has taken on an explicitly anti-Biden character. From chants charging Biden with genocide to protests at his events, to the tens of thousands of people who marched on the White House. There was even a march on his personal residence. Biden has been targeted by protesters demanding a ceasefire in Gaza because of his military and diplomatic support for Israel amid the war. On the military front, U.S. support for Israel since the deadly October 7 Hamas attack has ranged from arms and ammunition to consultancy from top-level commanders. The U.S. has also deployed 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, a Marine Rapid Response Unit, fighter squadrons and air defenses in the eastern Mediterranean. Biden, backed by nearly every congressional Republican and most Democrats, is now preparing to send $14 billion in military aid to Israel. In the diplomatic arena, the U.S. has repeatedly used its veto power in the United Nations to block resolutions critical of Israel's human rights and international law violations. And Biden is still resisting calls for a long-term ceasefire in Gaza. The U.S. president only started publicly talking about a pause to the war after facing immense pressure following the high civilian death toll in Gaza.
Mr. President, if you care about Jewish people, as a rabbi, I need you to call for a ceasefire right now.
Israeli air attacks have killed more than 14,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, including thousands of children, amid an Israeli blockade on entry of fuel and other essential items into the besieged enclave. On the Israeli side, some 1,200 people have been killed and around 240 taken hostage by Hamas during the October 7 attack. However, Biden's stance on Israel isn't unique to him. Washington has almost always shared a close relationship with Israel, even as it has been accused of continuously occupying Palestinian land since 1948. This movement has deepened the broader crisis that Biden is facing as he seeks re-election in the 2024 presidential polls. All over social media, people are pledging to not support Biden in 2024. In a new poll of Arab Americans, only 17% said they would support Biden in 2024, down from 59% in 2020, a staggering 42% drop. The same poll, conducted by the Arab American Institute, showed that Biden's approval rating has also tumbled among the respondents to 29%, an 18% drop since April. A different poll, conducted by a Muslim advocacy group, found that only 5% of Muslim Americans said they would support Biden in 2024, down from 80% in 2020. These numbers paint a grim picture for Biden, and they are only likely to intensify if the war resumes, casualties mount, and Biden continues to back what he calls Israel's right to self-defense. However, with the war currently on hold, and the truce deal holding, there is hope that the pause would eventually lead to a ceasefire, and the US will use its influence on Israel to push for an end to the fighting.